everybody. This is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and I've got a crowdfunding preview for you, one I'm really excited for. This is Encounters, Shattered Wastes. This is a 1 to 4 player solo and cooperative one-off boss battler, so no giant campaigns here for those who already have Aeon Trespass or Oathsworn. I'll be doing a full solo playthrough against one of these sort of medium difficulty bosses. If you want to see a tutorial with cooperative play, we did a separate play on the streaming channel a week or two ago. And just a reminder that we never accept compensation for our crowdfunding coverage. We just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also check out our separate streaming channel for even more content, listen to our weekly podcast, or join the conversation on our Discord. Come say hey. So what I'm playing is a prototype, although pretty close to the final game, and I will note that I think the regular edition of the game is going to come with these really nice standees, but if you, I think, pay extra, they sent me a set to show off, you can get these really beautiful acrylic ones. They look awesome. I mean, I like old JRPGs and pixel art, so this is kind of in my wheelhouse, but yeah, I think it looks awesome. So in the game, you take 2 to 4 heroes. Even if you're playing solo, you have to control at least one. I'm controlling 3, which I think is kind of the sweet spot for me to have interactions between heroes. And there are 8 unique heroes in the game. Each of them has a regular side and a shattered side, which is kind of both more powerful but also more risky because you're close to death. And you go against one of 8 bosses of increasing difficulty. I'm going against the Eater of Children. What a lovely name. And each of them has like sort of a difficulty and complexity ranking. So this is the 3rd boss out of 8. So not quite past the halfway points in terms of difficulty, but the bosses are still really tough. And the bosses each have a shattered side as well, and that's kind of the goal of the game. I need to wound enough of these strength cards that are both over here on the rows and also over here in their stamina and fatigue pile. I need to get enough to wounds so that they don't have any in stamina fatigue, which will then cause the Eater of Children to morph into their final form. And then if I can get rid of every card, like just literally kill every card, then you win. Now, how you lose is your characters can sometimes be removed from the board, can be defeated, and if all of your characters are defeated, then you lose. So pretty straightforward victory conditions there. Now, just to slide things over for a moment, just to talk through kind of how a round goes. So first you have the refresh phase, which basically means the boss is going to put out some of these strength cards, which are both like the things you can attack. So it's kind of an abstracted system. It's the things you can attack, but it's also the attacks that they will make against you. So you need to like be dealing with these and managing these. But yeah, so during the refresh phase, they put out a bunch of them. During the action phase, each of the heroes, in whichever order the players like, take 2 actions, plus like free actions using abilities and that kind of stuff. And then finally, during the defend phase, the heroes will get attacked by the cards that are in their matching row, and if there is no card there, they're going to take a attack from the unique rage card that each of the bosses has. Now let me show you a few things for each of the heroes. First of all, each hero has their own unique card. They have a hit point max, a magic point max, which will be used to use abilities. This is their basic attack number of dice they roll, which is pretty much going to be 1 for everybody. This is how much damage they deal with an attack, which is going to be 1 or 2 usually. And this is their crit value. If they roll this on their dice, so in this case a 1, then they'll do some awesome stuff and it's way better. Then they each have unique abilities. We won't get into those yet. And at the bottom, they've got a total of 8 from 4 different card types. These are attacks, support abilities, magic abilities, and items. And that's where these 3 cards come from. So each character will draw 8 cards mixed from the indicated decks, and then they'll pick 3 of them for their build for that game. So even with the same character, you get a ton of variety game to game. I've already taken care of all of that because I didn't want to bore you with all the kind of strategic choices I made. But as the game goes, I'll kind of talk through the abilities. Abilities cost the number of magic points in the upper left to cast. Your magic points go down as you use them. Your hit points also go down. You don't die when your hit points go to 0, but you are forced to shatter on your next turn, generally, which will reset everything, give you back hit points, but then you'll also be like close for getting corrupted. If you die again, you lose. And the third thing on here is called Threat. You're going to take Threat as you attack the enemy cards and as you suffer effects. And Threat basically becomes your 2-hit number. Whenever you attack, your die roll total has to exceed your threat. So like right now, I couldn't possibly miss. But, you know, if I was at a 4, I would need a 5 or a 6 or a crit. Hey, that was a good roll. A crit always hits regardless of what your threat is. So that would have been still a hit. And as you hit enemies, they go to the fatigue pile first, and you suffer the amount of threat indicated on the card. But once the stamina pile is empty, you flip the little round tracker token to its red side, which shows, I forget what the word is, the enemy is, staggered. That's what it is. They're staggered, kind of Dark Souls, Elden Ring style. And once they're staggered, any damage you do goes to wounds, which is going to, winnow down the deck and eventually get them to have nothing in stamina and fatigue, which is when they flip to their final side. Then you just got to wound everything. Now, quickly, I'll go over the main action types. There aren't that many, and then we'll get to playing. So first of all, for an action, you can move. It lets you move up to 3 spaces, and spaces being like moving from the front line to the back or moving to different areas. So this is front line, this is back. These are each areas, the rows, just in case the cards refer to that kind of stuff, which they often do. So yeah, with one move action, I could go like 1, 2, 3. You can move through each other, but not end on the same space as each other. Another action is to do a basic attack. Like I just said, you just roll the die. You're trying to roll over your threat, deal damage, then you take threat. Another action is to use an ability like Flash Beam here that says active in its keywords. That means it takes an action to use. Whereas other ones like both Crystal Barrier and Chain Combo here are reactions, and they'll tell you like when they can trigger, and if you spend the magic points, you get to do them without spending an action. Next ability is called Recover. You roll a die, and you can either decrease your threat by that much or regain that much magic points that you spent. And also, you'll sometimes get these Affliction cards, especially from the Eater of Children. They like to give you a lot of them. You can get rid of those with the Recover action. And the last action is to flip to your Shattered side, which, again, you don't really want to do usually until you have 0 hit points, because you don't die until the end of your turn when you have 0 hit points. So you do have a chance to shatter and heal. And there are some other things that'll force you to shatter. Like, for example, if your threat goes all the way to 12, you shatter immediately. All right, so that's pretty much it. Let's jump right in here and see how we do against the boss. So first is the refresh phase, and that's where the boss is going to put out more of these strength cards. And the first thing you do is, if there are any heroes, like 1 or more heroes, in an area that does not have any strength cards, you automatically put the top one into that area. That's not the case here because you start with 5 of these physical. By the way, there are physical strength cards, which have the claw, and this guy is almost entirely magical. How I built this deck is I took this many cards per player. So in this case, 4 times 3 is 12 magical attack cards. And every boss starts with 5 physical out. So he's going to have 17 stamina cards total, 5 physical, 12 magic. But yeah, so you'll automatically put them out if an area has no strength cards, but heroes are there. And then additionally, for each player, you're going to roll the indicated number of dice here, which is 1 for the Eater of Children, but it does go up. And place another strength card in the rolled area, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. On a 6, you don't place anything. So technically, we're rolling 1 die at a time for each of the characters. So we're placing 1 on 4, then 1 on 3, then 1 on 5. So this magic with 3 threat goes here. Magic with 2 threat goes there. Magic with 2 threat goes there. And that's it for the refresh phase. Then we go to the action phase. We're going to pick 1 hero at a time, and they can take 2 actions. And this first turn will be the longest because I'm going to kind of talk through their options and their special powers. Other turns will go faster. But a few things to note about like how the cards work before we go into the action phase. Each of the bosses has this at value here, in this case 8 for the Eater of Children. And at the start of each defend phase, you're going to look at every single area. And if the total number of threat on the strength cards in that area exceeds that value, exceeds 8, then you flip the top card, and usually these only attack 1 person, but they attack everyone on the board. So it's really bad if that happens. Which, for example, means that this area, which has a 3 and a 4, is very close already. Even 1 more card would probably put that over the edge. And then additionally, something to remember is that wherever we end the action phase, when the defense phase starts, is where we're going to get attacked. Generally speaking, lower threat values mean a weaker attack. So like this magic or this claw will do less damage to us. And usually, although again, it can vary boss to boss, the rage cards are the worst, which only hit you if there's nothing in your row, if you killed everything and then didn't move afterwards. So first, I think I'll have my monk go. Let's show you her. So she's one of the tankiest characters. She's got 11 hit points, 8 magic points. She crits on a 3 and does 2 damage with the basic attack. All the rest of my characters in this group only do 1, so she's definitely hitting harder. And her special ability is Marks of Banishment. After she completes any action, that even includes a free action, she can move 1 space or reduce her threat by 1. So she is very mobile, can really get around and do a lot of stuff. Now, in terms of her cards, she tends to be extremely attack heavy, which are the red cards. She draws 5, 1 support, 1 magic, 1 item. In this case, I picked 2 of the attacks and the 1 item. Items are single use, like entirely, except a few things can bring them back. So for this one, High Health Potion, she's going to, when she wants to use it, which does not take an action, roll 1 die. She gains that much hit points, and 1 adjacent character, orthogonally adjacent, gains that much hit points as well. So that's going to be a late game item, hopefully, to save us. Then she's got 2 attack cards that are each 3 magic points to cast. And attack cards will sometimes tell you a different number of dice to roll. So Sweeping Slash rolls 2 dice instead of her base 1. Which on the positive side means it's much more likely to get over her threat value, even if she's very high threat. But on the negative side means that her crit of 3, because that's not per die, that's like the total of your roll, getting a 3 exactly on 2 dice is a pretty high order. So Sweeping Slash, if you are in the front line, which currently she is, and this attack hits, deal 1 damage to each adjacent area, gaining threat for damage dealt as normal, And then this you may cycle means if I want to, I can put this on the bottom of the relevant deck and draw a new attack card or physical card, whatever it is, to replace it. So she could, for example, use that now. She would kill both of these cards because she has 2 damage value. And then she could also kill that one, and she would kill that one. How much would that be? 2, 5, 8, 11 threat. There's some problems there, but I mean, she would certainly put a lot of stuff into fatigue. But I kind of think I'd prefer to do that kind of stuff once the boss has been staggered. I'm actually wounding the cards instead of just temporarily fatiguing them. Because staggering is a temporary thing, and you're going to have to stagger the boss a bunch of times. How it works is at the end of the defend phase, if they have nothing in stamina, everything in fatigue comes back. So you really want to try to time your staggering, time when you empty out the stamina deck, so that as many of your characters can hit and do as many wounds as possible then, since they actually really matter at that point. And her other ability is Smiting Impale. If the enemy is staggered, she doubles her attack value, so she could hit 4 people at once instead of 2. And then if from the attack she gained more than 5 threat, she gets a free recover action. And don't forget, she can also move and or reduce. And after every action she gets that, so even a free recover action would trigger that. So yeah, I'm going to hope that we can stagger the guy, have her hit 3 or 4 people, not go all the way to 12 threat, and then immediately recover a whole bunch. We'll see how that goes. But for now, let's keep things simple. We do want to defeat some of these cards so we don't exceed that 8 value of the boss. So let's have her attack here for her first action, a basic attack. I'm rolling because I could get a 3 for a crit, and if I get a crit, I'll explain what it does. It's amazing, even though I cannot possibly miss right now because I have to exceed her threat value, which is currently 0, so I can't not get to a 0. Okay, so a 6 is not a crit. I needed a 3. And she has 2 attack values, so both of these cards go into the fatigue pile, and she is taking 2 plus 3, 5 threat. And again, it's because she has an attack value of 2 that she defeated both cards with a single attack. Now, after any action, she can move a space or reduce her threat by 1. And I'm going to have her move to here, and she'll let this 3 attack her. That will clear out this area a little bit, and also, 3 isn't the toughest battle damage. It's still better than the rage cards from the boss, generally. Because for a second action, I think I'm going to slow play and recover. So she moved 1 for her free thing. She's recovering now. Oh, and she got a 5. Awesome. So she can recover either that much threat or that much magic points, but she hasn't spent any yet. So she is fully recovered. And by the way, if you crit on a recover action, you either get all your threat back or all your magic points back or get rid of every affliction card you have. So crits are always good to go for. So that's it for the monk. Let's meet our other characters. I think we're going to activate the Lancer next. For those Final Fantasy fans, this is very much based on the Dragoon. So the Lancer has the highest hit points in the game at 12. Not very much magic points, though. Only 1 attack and 1 damage value, so less than the monk. Crits on a 5, and has the awesome Divine Leap ability. When you perform a move action, you may move to any frontline space. So instead of having to move up to 3, they can just jump anywhere in the front. And then after they complete a move action, they can do a free attack action as well. So their moves are, in some ways, free actions. Then getting to their abilities, they tend to have a ton of the shield support abilities, and I did take 2 of them. These tend to help other players. So they've got Calming Presence. When an adjacent character rolls to recover, they can gain threat equal to the roll to let them re-roll. So basically, if a character rolls a terrible roll, like a 1 or a 2 on their recover action, the Lancer can take some of it on themselves to let the other person get a re-roll of that. Well, they'd have to be adjacent for that. Okay, and then retreat for 1 magic, and it's free. This is great, it's free. The other one was a 0, so it is a free action. Sorry, it does cost 1 magic. You can move a character in the front line into any space in the back line, and then you can cycle this if you want to. So that'll give us a ton of mobility to make sure we're not taking more damage than we need to. And then finally, Sickened Steel. This is their only attack card. So 1 magic, rolls 2 dice, deals damage equal to your number of afflictions. Ooh, and sorry, I need to show you something on the Eater of Children in a second that might affect the Lancer's turn, but we'll get to that in a moment. And then when you use this, you remove 1 affliction if this attack deals damage, and then you may cycle this. I picked this specifically because this boss gives a lot of afflictions, so this is going to be a nice combo. And sorry, I did miss something during the refresh phase. Do you need some help? This is him trying to lure us in like children. At the start of the refresh phase, the character with the lowest threat, which was tied, and you pick whenever it's tied, either gains an affliction or reduces hit points by 1. I don't want to plink ourselves to death with 1 hit point every turn. So my plan was to give the Lancer most of the afflictions, if we can, and then use Sickened Steel to get rid of them. So let's see. Confuse, when you hit with an attack, if the roll is odd, deal damage to yourself instead of your target. That's not what I would like to see. I mean, Sickened Steel would still remove it regardless, but if I hurt myself and waste the attack, that would be a bummer. Now, you can take a recover action, and on any roll, even a one like that, you can get rid of one of these, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But I like to live dangerously. I'm going to move with the Lancer. I actually want to get the Arrowmancer behind the Lancer to protect her from damage. So I'm going to have the Lancer jump up to the front here, and then he can make a basic attack because of his Divine Leap ability. And what the hey, I'm not going to roll odd, am I? I'm going to spend 1 magic point to use Sicken Steel. Which means I'm rolling 2 dice. If I get a 5, it's a crit, which is actually not too impossible with 2 dice. And I really don't want to roll an odd total regardless. So a 6 is not odd. It's not a crit, but that was great. So I do not suffer from the Confuse. Dealing damage equal to the number of my afflictions, which is 1. And then I'm removing 1 when this attack deals damage. So the Confuse is discarded. And this top 2 threat magic attack goes to Fatigue, so he's taking 2 threat. All right, beautiful. And then I think for his second action, he'll recover. I could attack, but again, like you're putting yourself into those rage cards if you attack too much. So you can recover 6. Do I get rid of the 2 threat, or do I gain the 1 magic point? Yeah, I guess I'll get rid of the 2 threat. That makes more sense, right? That's 2 actions for the Lancer. He's not going to use his free retreat right now. And finally, the Arrowmancer. Let's see what they do. So the Arrowmancer is the only one where I didn't get great draws for my cards. They are all about using attack actions to get bonuses. And I got Chained Combo, which kind of works for that. And then Flash Beam, which is really expensive. So I didn't get kind of the cards I was hoping for, but I can roll with it. They have by far the least hit points, only 7. That's why I want to kind of guard them. They have 9 magic points, still only do 1 damage. Crit on a 1, which is great because usually a 1 is the worst roll for all these kind of things. So the fact that a 1 becomes a crit for them is awesome. And yeah, here's what I was talking about, attack abilities. When you use an ability attack, if you're in the back line, the damage goes straight to wounds. So even if they're not staggered, you still wound them. By the way, we still haven't seen a crit, but when we do, that also automatically wounds. And then instead, if you're in the front line, you reduce your threat by the value you rolled before you deal damage. So basically, if they use special ability attacks, they can either like send them straight to the boss's health, the wound track, or they can get rid of their threat. So what do I have for cards? Chain Combo is a reaction. After another character in your line, so right now they're in the back line, so it would have to be somebody else in the back line, rolls a crit. Before damage is dealt, perform a basic attack or an ability attack. Only costs 1 magic, so it could get us some free attacks. Crystal Barrier is a magic support one. There's another reaction. When a character in your area, so that's the same like front back, could be themselves, reduces their hit points, reduce the damage dealt by 1 to a minimum of 1 of the target character. And finally, their only attack 1. It's a Flash Beam for 6, rolls 2 dice. They're never going to crit with it. But look at this. If the roll is below 7, the attack is a crit anyway. So they just tend to crit a lot with it. And what are they going to do for the turn? Well, they're actually going to use Flash Beam. And that's going to attack this card. And because of their ability, since they're on the back line, this is going to go straight to wounds. And they're rolling 2 dice. And if they roll less than a 7, so if they roll a 6 or less, it's going to be an automatic crit from Flash Beam's ability. And I should explain crits now. So what crits do, first of all, they send the card straight to wounds, even if the person isn't staggered. And second of all, you get no threat from attacking the card. That's really the sweet spot. So come on, low roll. Nope, we got a 7, which is just a regular hit. Now the card still goes to wounds because of the Arrowmancer's ability. So that is taken out of this whole stamina fatigue rigmarole and makes it easier for us to actually get these decks empty and flip them. But they are still getting 3 threat. All right. And I do want them to recover, but not yet. Because right now they're going to get raged at. And I'd rather them, 1, 2, 3, take no damage at all. Because during the defend phase, each row with heroes is going to get attacked by the top card. If it's a magic card and there's 2 heroes there, it affects the hero in the back. If it's a physical card and there's 2 heroes there, it affects the hero in the front. So my Lancer is going to tank for my Arrowmancer. And with that, we indeed go into the defend phase. So first, we're going to see if any of the areas have exceeded 8 threat. And no, they have not. But remember, if they did, we would flip the top card and it would affect everybody on the board. Then we check where attacks are happening, where heroes are located. So no attack here, no attack here, no attack here. Here, if there were no cards, they would suffer a rage card, but there is, so we flip this 3. And the monk is raising their threat by 3 and suffering 1 affliction card. But after an attack, it goes to fatigue. So this is another way to fatigue the enemy's cards. It's not too bad. 3. Let's see what their affliction is. Weaken. Oh, reduce your magic points to 0. Then the card gets rid of itself, so that part's nice, but I don't like losing all my magic. But still a fairly innocuous card. Okay, and then here, the Lancer is suffering a damage and 2 afflictions. Dang, even the cards, the randomly dealt strength cards have a lot of afflictions. That's a bit of a bummer. I was hoping that I could use Crystal Barrier from the Arrowmancer to prevent some damage, but it said minimum 1 damage. So the Lancer is going to take 1 damage and draw 2 afflictions, and this also goes to fatigue. Although I guess them having the afflictions is better since they have the Sickened Steel. Oh, they'll 2 damage with that attack then. Or, wow, I just shuffled these. There are not that many of these. Okay, so this is, in a way, kind of nice because they lost all their magic to use things like Sickened Steel, but both those cards just got rid of themselves, so they actually end up with 0 afflictions. Cool. And the last thing in the defend phase would be if the stamina pile was empty, they would become unstaggered and all their fatigue would move back over. But right now we're fine. So we're going back to the refresh phase, which means at the start, we're going to look whoever has the lowest threat, and they're going to get an affliction or reduce their hit points by 1. This wasn't quite planned, but it worked out well. The Lancer is going to take an affliction. Daze. Oh, they cannot use abilities. That's a bummer. I was going to use Sick and Steel to get rid of it, but I literally can't. So, yeah, he'll have to take a recover action to get rid of that at some point. Although I guess he didn't have the magic for Sick and Steel anyway, so really not too bad. Okay, then we get to the main part of the refresh phase. First, we see, are there any empty areas with heroes in them? Yes, there are, so we get an automatic card there. And then we roll 3 dice, 1 for each hero, to spawn some more. That's at first a 3, then a 4, and a 5. I feel like that's the same numbers we rolled last time. 3, ooh, that's a big one. 4, no, wait, that's not 3. 3, and 4, and 5. Okay. That's it for the refresh phase. We'll go into the action phase, and let's look. There are 5 cards left in stamina before they are going to be staggered. So that's fairly likely to happen next turn, although it will depend on these rolls. Let's see. I think I'm going to have the Lancer go first. I do want to recover away that day. Well, I'll just say I'm recovering. I don't say what I'm doing with it yet, because like if I get a crit, then yeah, I'm definitely getting all their magic points back. Again, that's a 5, so I could fully do something. So now I have abilities, but I can't use them. Well, here, I'm going to kind of slow play this turn a little bit. I'm going to do another recover action to get rid of Daze. I don't need to roll for it. And then for a free action, I'm going to spend 1 magic and use Retreat, move a character in the front line to the back line. Then I could cycle it. I don't want to yet. I'm going to move the Lancer all the way up to this very weenie card and just let it hit me for hopefully very little effect. And this time I might double up the Monk and the Arrowmancer. For the first action, the Monk is going to attack the 2 enemies in front of them. They do have 3 threat. So they would miss on a 1 through 3, but their crit is a 3, so really they'll just miss on a 1 or a 2. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Okay, 6, not a crit, but they are going to do 2 damage. Maybe they should not have wanted to do 2 damage because it's getting them 7 more threat, 2 10. So, boop, there they go. Then they can move 1 space or reduce threat by 1. And yeah, I want them to move 1 to be with the Arrowmancer. Okay, then for their second action, they're going to take a recover action. Come on, 3. Okay, 5 works. I want to get their magic. I don't want to be sitting here with a ton of threat. So let's bring their threat down, and then they can move 1 or reduce threat by 1 after an action. They'll do it again. Nice. And finally, the Arrowmancer. I'd love to get some more things into wounds. Maybe like recover some magic first. Yeah, so let's try a recover action. Oh, and got a 6. Okay. So they're back to 9, but then I'm immediately going to use Flash Beam again for 6. Stacking the little 1 in front of him. But remember, anything below a 7 is a crit. Nope. But it doesn't matter too much because with the Arrowmancer thing, since they're in the back line, it's going to go straight to wounds, and they're only taking 1 threat. There we go. Oh yeah, sorry, I did have to roll over a 3, but clearly an 8 is enough. All right, and that's the end of their turn. Yeah, I like playing these cards away to wounds. That's going to definitely help later. We're going to the defend phase, and we're going to get attacked by some very weak cards. That was all on purpose, although we left that 5 there, which might not be great. So first, the Lancer is going to attack for 2 damage. That was actually pretty bad for a 1. And then, in this case, the Arrowmancer, whoops, that's not quite what I intended, is getting attacked for, just 2 threat. Okay, that's fine. So brings the Lancer down to 9, and the Arrowmancer up to 6 threat. Okay. All right, there's a chance they could stagger this turn. We'll see what happens. Refresh. Oh, first we got to do their special ability. Nice. I'm really not actively thinking about this, but the Lancer is the lowest threat again. So, Berserk. Before performing any action other than a basic action, gain 2 threat. That's really not too bad. Yeah, I've got the magic to use Sick and Steel, so this will work out fine. Okay, now I'm hoping the guy gets staggered because we're going to put that there, that there. We've got 3 cards, so if we roll perfectly, and what I mean by that is don't roll any 6s, we'll place out 3 cards, and then the guy will be staggered. All right, so 5 for the first, 5 for the second, 3. Okay, cool. So they did get staggered. 5, then, ooh, these are low values. This is great. 5, 5, 3. And now because their stamina is empty, they are staggered. Any hits we do right now are going to wounds. Now, it's not going to be enough to get the guy to flip, but it's definitely going to help us out a lot. And we're going into the action phase. So I want to hit if I can this turn. I didn't necessarily prepare for that as well as I could have because I got decently high threat. I think I'm going to have the Monk go first. Now, Smiting Impale is ready to go, but the Monk doesn't have any magic to use it. And the Monk does have a decent chance of missing, but they crit on a 3. So I'm going to go for the 50-50 chance of rolling a 5, 6, or 3 and attack the people in front of the Monk. Come on. Darn it. Okay, that's a miss. So after an action, I'll go and have them lower their threat, and then I guess try it again. Here we go. This maybe was a bad idea. Okay, still not a crit, but at least I hit this time. And their 2 damage means they're taking 4 threat. But, oh wait, no, those do not go to fatigue, Mike. Don't do that. Those go to wounds. All right, so that brings it down to 7. They could move 1, but no, I think they'll reduce their threat by 1 after their action. All right, that wasn't the best I could have done. Probably should have recovered first. All right, the Lancer's next, and I think they'll attack for the first action, which is not going to trigger the Berserk, so they'll not get any extra threat. They got a 4, not a crit. I'm not rolling any crits. They defeated a 4 in front of them, so they are going up to 4 threat there. And for their second move, I'm not sure, but I think they're going to jump over here, which is going to increase their threat by 2 because they took a non-basic attack action, but then they get a free basic attack action. Which means I didn't get rid of Sick and Steel, I just realized. I guess I should have... Yeah, you know what? Let's go back and say that I used Sick and Steel on that first attack. Still don't get a crit. Oh, wait, is that a miss? No, I didn't have that threat originally. Okay, so that would have gotten rid of this. But I still would have gained the 4th threat. I would have 1 less magic. Then I'll do the jump and attack and not gain an extra threat. Now, I need a 5 or a 6 to hit? Oh, this doesn't seem like a very high likelihood, does it? Well, I guess that's what we put ourselves in. Nope, that's a miss. Okay, not too smart. And that leaves me in the weird spot for the Arrowmancer. Yeah, like I said, I didn't necessarily set up for the best stagger chances here. Let's go and have them recover first. Okay, they got a 3. Okay, so now they'll hit on a 1, 4, 5, 6. It's pretty good. But if they attack this guy, they're going to both get affected by the Rage card. Although not every Rage card affects everybody. Sometimes it'll say like only front or only back. But yeah, it's not great. So it goes. Okay, so they'll attack. 1, 4. Okay, so they did hit. They only take 1 threat. We've gotten with our first go through 6 cards in wounds. 2 of those from the Arrowmancer before this turn. And how many was it? 17? So that's pretty good. That's more than a third of them. So we need to probably stagger them at least 1 more time and wound them some more. We'll see how it goes. But now what I'm really worried about, he's going to get attacked by that 3. They're going to get affected by that. Hopefully it's not terrible. Oh my gosh. Okay, so he takes 2 afflictions, and this one, I forget what it's called. I think it's like corruption or something. That only affects you if you're on your shattered side. So that wasn't a terrible draw for him. He's set to potentially use a good Sick and Steel. Bleed. Whenever his activation ends, he reduces his current hit points by 1. And freeze. When you complete an action during your activation, end your activation and remove this. Okay, so if he uses Sick and Steel first, he'll get rid of freeze before it would end his turn. And then maybe he can like recover away the bleed or something. Okay, so we should be okay with those. That's actually not a bad combo. And by the way, the cards attacking us go to fatigue, so that's coming right back in a second. Okay, and then which rage card is this? Guiding Eyes. Place a strength card from any area into this area and reveal it. And it's the 5. Great. All right, so this is hitting my Arrowmancer since it's magic. 4 threat and 2 afflictions. I mean, it's not damage. So that could have been a lot worse with a 5, but it's going to take them a while to be able to do much again. Okay, so that's 4, and then blind. If you roll an attack on a 5 or 6, you have to re-roll it. And stun. You cannot gain MP when you recover. All right. Speaking of recovering, I think we're going to be doing that for a while, but we aren't hurt a lot. That's at least good. And now sadness, stamina is empty. All comes right back, and they are no longer staggered. Go back into the refresh phase. They're going to do you need some help? I think the Lancer's okay on afflictions. Let's take the 1 damage option instead. Because don't forget, after we go down to 0, we can still go all the way back up with our shattering. Well, not all the way back up. They each have different values. The Lancer goes to a 9 when he shatters. Okay, and that same friendly 5 comes to the same spot. This 3 we just got goes to the same spot. So you can like somewhat strategically memorize cards if you want to. Okay, and then we're doing a 1 and a 4 and okay, nothing. So a little bit slower rollout this time, which is probably good when we're trying to recover so much. Yeah, I mean, no danger of anything popping, so I might just like move to like really weak areas this turn and just try to recover a bunch. Yeah, so even though I want to use Sick and Steel, let's go and have the Lancer recover once. Hoping we get a 5, then we can get rid of a bunch of stuff. Nope, that was a 2. Since that's a low value, I'm going to get rid of freeze. Well, I need to get rid of freeze because that would have got rid of that would have ended my turn early anyway. Now, I don't want to get 2 more things, so let's have him for his second action go up here, and he can get affected by that. In fact, he can go in the back, and he can just jump to the front if he wants to anyway. Now, he does take a damage since he's bleeding, which is not great, but so it goes sometimes. All right, next we'll do the Monk. Recover for first action. Got a 4. Let's get rid of threat with that. Then I'm going to have them do a free move up here. Then they'll try to recover again. 5, nice. Well, I still like I'm not rolling very many crits, and they'll take a free threat reduction from that. Okay, and then finally the Arrowmancer. Let's have them recover first. 2. No, that's not their 1s. That was literally the worst they could have rolled. Oh, that's right. They can't gain MP, and they're blind. Should I just get rid of one of these? I think I probably should. Oh wait, so wasn't this card the one that like gave me a ton of? Oh man. All right, you know what? Let's lower. Well, no. Okay, I will. Where was I? I think I was at 8. Yeah, let's get rid of the stun since that was a bad roll. But then I am gonna move here, I think, and just let the weak card hit us. All right, so we go into the defend phase. A pretty low key turn there. Okay, the Lancers is taking 2 threat. That goes to fatigue. And then the monk is in the front, is taking 2 damage. Ooh, since I can, I'm going to use Crystal Barrier since they're in the same area. The monk only takes 1 damage. Well, that's the first damage she's taken, and she's got a healing potion. Jeez, I want her to tank more. Okay, that's it for the turn, although slow playing is not as good against this guy because of his constant thing. So he's going to go affect the monk this time. I'm just going to have her take a damage because I saw how much life she has. And then we're putting out a card here, and we're putting out a big card here. And rolling 3 dice. So we're doing a 2, then a 4, then a 1. Pretty spread out. Okay, but still nothing going over 8. We only have 2 cards left here, so definitely next turn is going to be the big deal some damage turn. So this time I want to like really make sure I'm doing that. And this isn't too bad. I mean, there's a 3 on top here. There's a 2 on top here. So even if we like don't attack at all and just like get ourselves into a great spot, we should be able to go ham in a second. So with that in mind, let's go and have the Arrowmancer recover once. That's right, they are still blind. Okay, they got a 3. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I'll roll a crit, so let's go and just keep on getting that down. And then their second action, also recover. Ooh, could get magic points up a lot, but yeah, I want them to definitely be able to hit a bunch of people next turn. So let's do that, because with the blind, they need to be rolling low. And then the monk, I guess they're going to recover. I mean, God, they don't really have very much to recover, do they? Okay, we'll roll once. All right, and they'll go up to full magic. 0 threat with their ability. But yeah, I'm not sure what to do with their other ability here, because I don't want them to attack and kill the people in front of them yet. Oh, here, I got an idea. Why don't they move to here? That's like the weakest. Oh, no, but I want them to be here to be able to attack. So no. Okay, we'll just sit and not use the second action. I think you can do that. And then Lancer is also going to recover. So first one was a 6. I was going to use that for the bleed, but never mind. We'll get rid of all that. And then second one is also a 6, but we'll get rid of the bleed. So no free damage this time. Thank you very much. Okay, and the Lancer gets attacked for a threat and an affliction. I don't necessarily mind the affliction, especially if they get another one in a second. And it's Shadow. After you use an ability, gain threat equal to its magic point cost. Okay. Although I think the timing of that would be that if Sick and Steel got rid of the card, then it wouldn't apply anymore. Okay, and then here she's getting attacked. Monk for 3 threat. Oh, no, sorry, not Monk. Yeah, Arrowmancer. I think it is the card I knew was coming. 3 threat and affliction. All right, so 1, 2, 3. And she's not only blind, she's also burned. Your crit value is 0, so she can't crit. Well, that's okay. I don't need to crit if they're staggered anyway, really. All right, here we go. Big refresh phase. Who's got the lowest threat? It's the monk, and yeah, I don't want like a bad condition to mess this up, so let's just have them take a damage. Okay, and then these 2 are not coming out automatically because nothing's empty. But let's roll for it. So a 3, and then a 4, and then a 5. Okay, so 3, 4, and then you start drawing from fatigue once they're staggered. 5. Okay, and they are ready to be hurt. All right, we're gonna have the monk go first. You want to see what crazy looks like, everybody? Here's what crazy looks like. We're gonna do sweeping slash for 3 magic. If we're in the front line and this attack hits, we deal 1 to each adjacent area, gaining all the threat for all of that. Because I did the math. 3, 7, 9. Oh, wait, that's 12. I was 1 off, which means I would literally shatter by doing this. Never mind, new plan. Let's instead do Smiting Impale for 3. So I'm rolling 2 dice, which means almost impossible to crit since she needs a 3. Yep, so we do hit. We kill both of these guys to wounds. That's 7 threat. But after you complete an action, you can move 1 space or reduce. I'm going to move down to here. And then Smiting Impale says, if you gain more than blank during this attack, you may perform a recover action, which I will. Here we go. Ooh, crit! Let's get rid of everything. Oh, and then after an action, I can move or reduce my threat by 1. Well, I don't want to do either of those. And yeah, I don't think there's any restriction on how many times you can use an ability as long as you can pay for it. So I'm going to use Smiting Impale again. Because, look, we got 6 there, so it's going to trigger the bonus. Once again, we hit, but no crit. So we're doing 2 more to wounds, taking 6. I'm getting a free recover. Oh my gosh, are you serious? And then I'm getting move or reduce, and then another move or reduce. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just move to get up here. Heck yeah. Okay, we'll do the Lancer next. I'm going to go and use Sickened Steel. So I'll deal 1 damage, and I'll get rid of this before it makes me take extra threat. I'm doing a 2 dice attack. Oh my gosh. Okay, I did still hit, but I did not roll very high. So Shadow goes away. The dude in front of me I killed was a 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then I have a 1/3 chance of hitting again. So this is probably dumb, but what the hey? We're going to jump over here, do a basic attack. I need a 5 or a 6, and a 5 would be a crit. So, wow. Yeah, we haven't seen it almost. I think it's literally our first crit attack. So it goes straight to wounds no matter what. Now, of course, they were staggered, so it would have gone to wounds anyway. But the big thing is they don't gain a threat for it. So that was great. Now, sadly, where is it? Chain combo, which triggers when another character crits for the Arrowmancer, is only if they're in their line. And the Lancer just jumped out of their line. Now, speaking of the Arrowmancer, let's have them run up. Oh, God, can they do anything? See, I'm looking. If they attack, blind means they have to reroll any 5s or 6s. They don't have a crit, so 1 doesn't hit, so a 4 would hit. Only a 4 would hit. All right, I guess they're recovering. Okay, so they got a 5. So they could get their magic points up quite a bit. They could lower their threat all the way, or they can get rid of burn to get critting back to life. I'm going to get the magic points. Because then I could use flash beam and definitely hit and use their special power. All right, that was pretty great. Definitely, I think, going to make him flip in a second, hopefully. So the Lancer's taking a rage attack. Enticing Aroma. Return an ability card to the bottom of its deck. Really? Calming Presence, I have not had the chance to use at all, so let's get rid of that one. Still, that's a cruddy one. And again, these rage cards stay in order and go to the bottom, although it's about to switch to his other form, so it doesn't matter. But you can kind of memorize where they are. All right, and then Arrowmancer is taking just 2 threats. That was not a bad card at all. All right, and they are unstaggering. Only got 4 cards left. Let's see how that goes. So yeah, refresh phase. We got to do the thing. Just going to be Monk again. Take your 1 damage and like it. And then we automatically get a card here. Ooh, if we again don't roll any 6s, they'll be immediately staggered. Come on, no 6s. 1, yes. 3, come on. Yes, kind of stacked up, aren't they? So 3, 3. Now, this is big. There's nothing in stamina and fatigue. So the second we deal any wounds to the boss right now, they're going to change forms. All their wounds are going to go back to stamina. They're going to get more cards. They can get a new rage deck, a new power, all kinds of crazy stuff. So this turn we just want to hit them once and then kind of hang out otherwise. So I think Monk's perfect for that job. With that in mind, I'm actually going to have Lancer go first. I'm going to have him use Retreat on himself for free because I want to make room for the Monk to move up here after attacking. And sorry, not for free, for 1 magic. Okay, and then for his actual actions, I think he'll recover a couple times. So 2. I guess we'll do that for threat. Oh, nah, let's do that for magic, because he doesn't really need that much magic. Okay, and then we'll recover again. This time a 3. We'll do that for threat. Then we're going to have the Monk attack for their first action. They've got 0 threat right now, so yep, they hit. To these, since they are staggered, they don't have anything, would go to wounds. This will trigger their advance. And then we can resolve the rest of the Monk stuff. Well, I do think we finished the action, so I definitely want the Monk to move there. And before I forget, the Monk did gain 3 threat from that. Okay, so this guy's coming out. He is now still the Eater of Children, but he's got new stuff going on. Now we're going to take his wound deck and shuffle in 1 physical card per character and 1 magic card per character, so he's getting a little bit stronger. Right. Everything comes down to stamina, so he's no longer staggered. Ooh, and join all the others. When a character performs a recover action, they cannot reduce their threat by more than 3. And now we're each rolling 2 dice per turn, so cards are going to come out way faster. And, areas get over with just 6 things there. So yeah, it's going to be a very different ball game now. And now we need to kill every single card. So literally every card, if it's in wounds, including the cards on the board, then we win. Oh, now he's got all new friendly rage cards coming out to play. All right, so Monk has a second action. Let's try to get some magic points back. 3 is a crit, so fully go up to 8 magic, and then use the after action thing to go down to 2 threat. Then finally, our very messed up Arrowmancer. What was this? I feel like it was a bunch of afflictions and a bunch of threats. She doesn't want that. I'm going to go 1, 2, I think. Now, I do have enough magic to cast flash beams, so I want to stay in the back to do straight to wounds with his ability. Then for my second, I will recover. Ooh, a 6. So yeah, let's get rid of all threat. We don't have to worry about burning and blinding yet when we can hit very easily. Speaking again, hit. Here we go. 1 threat. Oh my gosh, another affliction. I wish these were on the Lancer. Poison. When you complete an action, reduce your magic points by 2. Yeah, that's not the person I want to have that on. Now, a crit could get rid of all of these at once, but I don't have critting right now because of that burn card. Okay, then over here, this is just hitting the Lancer since it's magic. Just 2 threat. Oh, wait a second. Oh, man. What the Aromancer get? I forgot that the Eater of Children limits the amount you can reduce your threat. I think they had gotten a 6. So I think, what, 1, 2? I think they're still at a 4. Yeah, I got to remember the new ability for them. All right, now things are going to get a little bit wild because they have a ton of cards. We might just die or at least shatter. All right, so those were the automatic ones because those areas were empty. Now we're rolling 2 for each character. So 3 and a 4, and then 6 and a 2, so nothing, and that one. Now 6s kind of seem nicer, and 2 and a 3. Okay, and yuck. This area is definitely going to pop with some free attacks on everybody unless we get down there and take a ton of threat clearing it out some. Now, let's see. I think our our messed up Aromancer should go first. When I shatter, all afflictions go away, so I do kind of see some shattering happening in their future. Let's go and do Flash Beam, because it's going to go straight to wounds. We can't fail to hit with it. And it'll get rid of all our magic, so the poison won't matter anyway. Okay, so first action, Flash Beam. And yes, okay, it is not below a 7, but we do hit. So this card's going straight to wounds. It's gone forever now because wounds aren't coming back, and we get 2 threat. Oh, wait a second. I think blind. Reroll that die if it's a 5 to 6. Oh, if I'm reading that right, then never mind. We did not get 2 threat because we critted that guy since Flash Beam always crits. All right, I'll take that. And then, even though he's going to get hit by a rage card if he's by himself here, I think I'm still going to recover. Okay, I got a 2. I think the one's bothering me the most is burn. I want to be able to crit again. So let's get rid of that first. And now I can theoretically crit and get rid of 2 of those at once. And I'm going to have the Lancer go. These cards aren't too bad. If he attacks the first one, he can get hit by the second one, and it's not going to be too rough of a thing. So sure, let's have him, I guess, recover first. That's enough to get rid of all of that. And then he'll attack the 1 value guy in front of him. Did not get a crit. Takes 1 threat. And then he's going to use Retreat on the Monk, because I want the Monk to clean this place out, but still have the ability to do a recover action afterwards and all that kind of stuff, or before even. So yeah, Monk's going to do a totally normal attack against the 2 cards, and she does 2 damage. Not a crit, but does hit. So he's getting 7 more threat. That's going to take a while to clear out with the new boss's rule. But she can use her ability, so after the action, she'll knock that down 1. Or actually, no, she won't, because she's right in front of a terrible card. Yes, she's going to move 1. Then for her second action, she'll recover. Yeah, so what's the max I can do? 1, 2, 3. And then she'll move again. I know it's not great to leave that 5 there, but I'd rather not get hit by it. Let's double up. All right, in the defend phase, we got a rage on here. I don't know what these got. Oh my gosh! You got spiders in your stomach, Aromancer? Stomach spiders? That's not good. No magic to use crystal barriers, so oof. I mean, they were the one I was most likely to shatter soon anyway, so it's not the end of the world, but geez. And then what you got? So this is hitting the Monk because it's physical. 2 afflictions. Well, at least she doesn't have that many, and 1 damage. But again, none of us have shattered yet, so I'm not too worried about that. And Shadow, that's one where you gain threat after using the ability. And, gain another affliction when your activation ends. I don't think I'm going to keep those. Now, I'm probably hurt enough at this point that I should try to use the high health potion next to the Aromancer and heal us both. But first, we're going into the refresh phase. We get 1 automatic here. And then 1 and 3. And okay, 1 and 3. And 3 and 5. Wow, 5, thank you. Oh, but it's a 5 down there. Okay, how are we looking? Probably going to be shattered, or not shattered, staggered next turn. So we want to mitigate this stuff, because both of these are going to pop if we leave them alone. I mean, this one's going to... I think I'm going to have to suffer through that one. I'm going to have the Monk go first and recover. Oh, right, I forgot about all the crud on them. 1. Well, let's get rid of disease. And then they can move or reduce threat. We have them move right here next to the archer. Then before we do anything, let's use our high health potion. I'm going to roll 1 die, gain that much hit points on myself and an adjacent character. Let's hope we don't get another one here. 2, hey, it's better than nothing, but that was not what I was hoping for. Okay, a little bit further away from death. And items are not in action, so we can still go ahead and attack here. Oh yeah, she's got a lot more threat than I thought, so never mind. She'll just recover again. Okay, a 3 is a crit. After I use an ability. That was an ability, wasn't it? Oh, but it has no cost, so I can't gain threat equal to its magic point cost. So I guess with this guy, even a crit still won't lower your stuff more than 3. So we'll still just go 3, and then after an action for her, down 4. Okay. Yeah, I really gotta get the Aromancer doing something useful. I want to kill that guy so this area doesn't pop. But she's poisoned and blind. I guess she'll recover first. Nice. Get this down to 1, and 1 is a crit again now. And then she'll do a basic attack or heal. Okay, so a 3 doesn't need to be rerolled, isn't a crit, is over, so that's a hit. So I'm taking 3 threat. But now we got the weakest card in the front to actually hit us, and this area isn't over full. Man, Lancer, what are you gonna do? Because you're kind of already in a perfect spot. Well, we can at least make this area not so terrible for next turn. So how about he moves here? I guess it could be either one. But sure, let's move here with the special ability and do a free basic attack on this guy. Ooh, that's a crit. So that goes straight to wounds, and he doesn't take any threat. Awesome. That kind of changes things up. Should I just attack again? No, because that's right. They're about to stagger. So let's keep our threat as low as possible, and he'll recover for his second action. 1. What the hey? Want to be able to hit as many people as I can. All right, so it's going to be a Nasir defend phase, because if anybody's over 6 total threat, any area, which this one is, this top card affects everybody. Oh my gosh, 2 conditions to everybody? I remember that card, no. So was I saying the Aromancer might shatter? Okay, reduce my magic points to 0. That didn't do anything. Poison. Oh, another poison? All right, so I guess I'll never have magic points, but really that was not the worst it could have been. What Lancer? You got Sick and Steel, so I kind of like this. No, reduce magic points to 0? I don't want that card. Why are there so many of these? And Paralyze. You cannot move. It sucks for the guy that gets free attacks when he moves, okay? But Sick and Steel can... No, I don't have any magic points to get rid of it. Okay, then Monk's one I'm really worried about, because I wanted her to kill everybody. Confuse. When you hit with an attack, if the roll is odd, deal the damage to yourself instead of the target. I don't know if we can let that stand. We have to get rid of that. Daze. You cannot use abilities. And then if I use abilities, I gain threats. Darn it. Well, that was something. Aromancer is getting hit with another threat and an affliction. Wow. Their 4th. Berserk. Gain 2 threat if you do any action other than basic attack. Wow. Okay, and then here. What? Just 1 damage? Okay, you get lucky sometimes with these cards sometimes. Now it should be staggering time unless we... Well, I guess actually there's 6 cards, so if we roll any 6s, they will not stagger this turn. I did not realize that. No 6s yet. Still no 6s. Do I want them to stagger? I think I do. Okay, well, here we go. Which places exceed 6? That one does. That one barely does. So actually, that's pretty good. If we just get to these places somehow, then we should be okay. Okay, I'm actually going to have the Lancer go first, because I want to use Retreat on the Monk to get them down to like that other place is going to pop. So I'll use a recovery action to get some magic. 3. All right, I'll take it. And then for a free action, I will move the Monk from the front to any back area, which is going to be down to here. And then for a second action, he's going to use Sick and Steel to get rid of his paralysis. So it's on the person right in front of me. That's right, I'm rolling 2 dice. Did not get a crit, sadly. But Paralyze goes away. Since he's staggered, I do wound this 5 out of here. I mean, it's a terrible card, but it means that it's also gone forever, so I like that. Of course, it gets him up to 5, and he's about to be hit by Rage. Ooh, wait, no, he doesn't have to be. We can use Retreat again with my last magic point. And go here, which is not bad to be hit by at all. Awesome. So if the Monk takes care of that, and the Aromancer, she can't possibly do that on her own, can she? Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? You know what time it is, I think? Yeah, it's time for the Aromancer to crash. This is going to be their first action of 2. Everything they have, because you get some new abilities in a second. This flips, and they go to their new stats. Magic points is no longer magic points. They've got like this little eye icon, which is like their corruption. If that reaches or exceeds their value here, 7, they die. Aromancer has 9 health left, pretty good. And threat goes back down to 0. And they get, 3 of the shattered abilities. They have their own deck. New teachings. When a character rolls dice on an attack, use your current threat for the value of the roll instead. That's really cool. By the way, the 1 here is gaining corruption to kill you and not magic points that you can just get recover back. Redemption. Okay, when you succumb, roll 2 dice. Succumb is when you, I think, is when you go over to 7. If you roll a crit or the die faces match, you may redeem yourself, which means you flip back and like heal to your good side. And then another shattered character may also redeem them, or another character may redeem themselves. Okay. So I'll have a final gasp chance. And finally, Shadow Flight. So only new teachings costs corruption. When your activation begins, you may move to any unoccupied space, and it's not an action. Yes, you are just a flying arrow slayer. Okay, so Scrying Sniper, new ability. So now they crit on a 7 and they roll 2 dice, still only dealing 1 damage though. When you hit the enemy with an attack, before dealing damage, place any strength card in play into another area, which is what they're going to do with their attack here, because they want to move one of these out of here so it doesn't pop. So here we go. Okay, so they do hit. Before dealing their 1 damage, I can move any card. And I guess I'll move the 4 over and wound it away so that we don't have to deal with that anymore. Certainly better to have lower values in the deck. That is 4 threat, and then they're going to get hit in a second. But yeah, Aromancer, you are awesome. Okay, finally the Monk. So what's going on? I can't use abilities. I might hit myself. Okay, so we're definitely going to recover before she attacks to clear out that place. 4 recovery. I think I'm just going to get rid of Confuse this time. So now let's do a basic attack because I still can't use abilities while I'm dazed. I could still miss on a 1 or a 2. Let's. Oh, no. After an action, I can move 1 or reduce. So let's reduce threat by 1. There we go. Now I can only miss on a 1. Okay, good thing I did that. 2, so not a crit. But I do wound both of these away, taking 5 threat. We didn't get as many wounds as I might have liked, but still it was some. So what was that? That was 5. But we did prevent any areas from having too much as we go into the defend phase. Okay, so this one's doing 3 damage to the Aromancer. It's not great after they just flipped. Because, yeah, now if at the end of the turn they're down to 0, they're just gone. Okay, and then here, Affliction on the Lancer. That's okay. He's got Sick and Steel, so that's actually probably the best it could have been. Burn, his crit value is 0. We'll get rid of that in a second. Okay, and then big boy here. Oh my gosh. 3 afflictions? Maybe I'm going to shatter the Monk too. Yeah, so magic tends to cause afflictions. Okay, when your activation ends, get another affliction card. You can't gain MP when you recover. And you can only do 1 action in a turn unless you get rid of that. I mean, 1 crit would get rid of all of those, so that'd be cool. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Now we're not shooting arrows. We're throwing lightning. Wow! And the boss is no longer staggered. Okay, here we go. Gonna get a lot more of these out. 1 there. It's a big one. 1 there. And roll in. Oh, nothing for that second die. And, oh, okay. Yeah, the Monk is there at least. That's good. And 3 and nothing else. Okay. So only this area is dangerous. That's cool, at least. And, ooh, I'm seeing something I can do. Aromancer is definitely going first here. Let's look at this cray-crayness. Well, first, that's right. They can fly anywhere. So move to any unoccupied space. Now let's go here. Then for their first action, they're going to attack. So they're rolling 7. Okay, they did not get a crit, which is an 8, but they do hit. And I'm going to move... Which person was it? I'm going to move the person from over here to there and defeat them, which gets me, here's the key thing, to 5 threat. Although I'm realizing now, what do I do with my next action? I guess I don't do anything. Because the cool thing I want to do is give the Lancer automatic crits with this by taking some corruption. Yeah, so I guess I'm going to pass my second action. Unless I could get the Monk, get it down to 3 threat. That seems like it'd be hard to make magically happen. Well, hold on, let's reverse things a little bit. Let's say that I didn't kill that one yet. Where were they? Right here, I think. I think they were there. Let's recover first. Okay, we lose 3. And now if we kill a 2, like the one right in front of us, we'll use the same attack roll, go up to 3. Yeah, sorry, this is smarter. And now the Monk can crit every time we take 1 corruption, since the Monk hits 2 people, and that's way better. Although I forgot the Monk is like... What the heck is up with the Monk? Okay, so now the Monk's going. Gonna recover first, because otherwise the freeze will just get rid of our whole turn anyway. We should have been a 3. Okay, so we'll get rid of freeze. And then we can't use abilities. We're going to get another condition automatically when our activation ends. We can't gain magic points. But for now, the Monk is going to attack. They have 6 threat. Whoops, they missed. But hold on. New teachings. When they roll dice, I'm going to increase my corruption by 1 closer to automatic death. Now the value of the roll is a 3, which is a crit, which kills both of these to wounds, I think, unless I'm cheating, and does not get the Monk any more threat. Let's go. So yeah, now no areas are dangerous, although the Lancer doesn't necessarily want to be where they are. Oh, that's right, they got like this burn thing. Let's go and recover with them for their first action. What the hey, we'll do 3 threat, the max with the boss, and then we'll recover for a second action, I think. Another 4. We'll get some magic points to use retreat and sick and steal. Now, sadly, we're all getting hit. Hopefully it's not too bad. Just 2 threat for the Aromancer. Oh, which means now the Lancer is set up for critting with their ability. And then a damage and nothing would have been a corruption for the Lancer. Cool. And the Monk, 3 damage. They're down to 5. That was totally fine, though. They're the one who can take it. Oh, I forgot to get another affliction. Now the Monk is blind as well. Okay. Yeah, I need to shatter them. All right. Ooh. They could be staggered again this turn. I didn't realize that. See what happens. Oh, maybe not. That was a 6. And now 1 and a 3. Need to not get a 6 this time. 1 and a 1. Oh my gosh. Okay. But they are Staggered again, ready to wound him more. I do have to get rid of this before the Lancer does anything. So let's go and recover away the burn so I can benefit from the Arromancer's thing. And then, yeah, where does the Lancer want to go to deal their automatic crit? Oh, wait, we should be able to... Oh, wait, I just realized we should be able to burn 2 things. So let's not do what I just did. Instead of recovering, let's spend a magic point to use Sicken Steel on the guy in front of me. So I do hit. It's not a crit. They've got 3 threat, though, so we go up to 5, but then that's gone. Thank you, Sicken Steel. And then for their second action, they'll move over to here, I guess. And they'll get a free basic attack. They roll. Actually, it would have been a hit, but we'll use the Arromancer to turn it into a crit. So that's a wound without taking any threat. If the Arromancer takes another corruption, which they will. All right, then the Arromancer's next. They might have him attack a few like little 1 guys since they can just move them to be right in front of them. So that they probably hit. Yeah, because I don't want to waste my chance when the guy's staggered. So here we go. First attack is a 10. That hits. And I'll pull up this guy. Well, let's keep that in the front. We'll pull this one over and kill that to wounds. So now we're at 6 threat. Second attack. Ooh, it's a crit. Awesome, which means that I'm not even going to take threat for it. So yeah, let's go ahead and grab this 5 and get rid of it forever. Thanks, Arromancer. You are awesome. Oh, I could have flown, couldn't I? I mean, I knew there was a 1 there, so sure. Let's say that I'm here. Why not? Got to do things in the right order, Mike. Come on. All right, and then... Monk. What are you doing to me here, Monk? I think, yeah, forget it. They're just going to shatter. I can't deal with all these afflictions. So everything's gone. Now they have Unbreakable Pride. If their basic attack crits, which is on a 7, and they're doing 3 damage now, they reduce their corruption to 0 or their threat to 0. Which would be awesome if I can get like my Arromancer's threat to 7 exactly. They only have 6 hit points though and 5 corruption, so they can die very easily if they aren't managing things well. And sadly, they're all down here by themselves. Let's go and kill this thing. That'll still send it to wounds. Ooh, crit! So they didn't get the threat. They could lower their threat or corruption down to 0, but they're already at 0, so... All right, now defending. Nothing went over 6, which is what we intended, so that's good. Let's see, the Lancers, taking a threat and an affliction. Although they're the only one that is not shattered, and they still have Sicken Steel, so that's not too bad. Okay, bleeding. The Arromancer is taking 2 damage. Cool. Maybe not super cool. If they get that spider thing again, they'll die. And then, let's hope it's not spiders in the heart. Oh, each character in the back line. Luckily, it's only the monk, and we know that that's there now. But that is half their life in one go. Ouch. Yeah, that's not great. Yeah, it's not great. That's what you get when you shatter early sometimes. We're getting low here. We should, they might even stagger this turn. Well, probably not. Unless you roll really well/badly. Yeah, actually, there's only 5 cards left. Never mind. Decent chance. Okay, 4-3. And... Nope, never mind. They're definitely not staggered this turn. Kind of a bummer there, but I guess we have more time to get ready for them. Yeah, they got a single card left in stamina. And 2 areas are going to pop. Just keep that in mind. All right, so let's see. I'm going to have the Arromancer go first. Fly here for free. I'm going to have them attack. Oh, no. They'll recover first because their threat's definitely not great right now. Okay, 6, but they can only reduce it by 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, but now they'll attack. Good, they're hitting. And so 3, if they can get to 7, the monk will crit. And we can clear out one of these spots. So let's pull this one off the Lancer and then fatigue that. So they take 7 threat. Or sorry, I should say 4 threats to 7, but now we can make the monk crit if we want. And yeah, let's do that. So monk can move up here for their first action, and for their second action, they can attack. Okay, they would not have crit, but I'm gonna take another one of these. Ooh, I never got the monk their ability, did I? No, stop it. You have 4 life. Yeah, let's see what the monk's ability is. Umbra Inferno. Place a number of strength cards in your area equal to your current. That stuff into wounds. Ooh, wow. Okay. So she can take 4 out of her 5 and then just like automatically kill. Wait a second. We would have done this. Well, that would leave her about to die. So no, we won't do it yet. But yeah, the Shadowmancer did send both of these 2 wounds, even though the person's not broken because it was a crit, and they didn't get any threat for it. So that's cool. Okay, and then Lancer. I guess every place is safe now, so maybe they just recover. Yeah, because they're about to be hittable in a second, and we got way too much threat. So first recovery, max 3. Oh, they're bleeding. Forgot about that. Well, they'll just take a damage. It's fine. Second recovery, max 3. That's fine. Take a damage from the bleed. And we're all getting hit again. Oh my gosh. Lancer gets 2 afflictions. Ooh, but it's going to work with Sicken Steel and 2 threat. Now just hopefully we don't get one that says you can't use an ability. You can't move. That's okay. You have no trait, which is the ability that lets them move and then attack. Okay, so this is not the worst. Possessed and paralyzed. And then a rage here. Screams of... Oh no! Oh no! I didn't know that was in there. Well, Arromancer is defeat. Oh, wait, that was not the Arrowmancer. That was the Monk. Thank God, because Arrowmancer could not have taken that. Monk is fine. I mean, with a crit from the Arrowmancer, they can just get rid of it all. Phew. Okay. And then just 2 threat. That's much better. That's much more manageable. Oh, although it does mess up there. Nice little combo they were doing. All right, here we go. Now, clearly, they are broken. Oh, now these last 2 are going to come out somewhere. 5. Unless we get a lot of 6s. Nope, there we go. But they're staggered again. This is it. I mean, they're going to be staggered basically every turn. So we just got to do like 6 more damage somehow, and we should win. All right, so we're going to try to combo things up again. Let's have the Arrowmancer recover for their first action. Oh, wait, where do they want to move? Actually, they're in a good spot, I guess. Let's have them move here if they're going to move in other people in front of them. Okay, so they'll recover 3. So they're down to 6. And then they want to kill a 1 with their attack. Well, assuming they hit. Ooh, which they did not. Okay, that's going to mess things up. Yeah, so they missed with their attack. So nothing else happening for them. I just realized the Lancer is totally messed up. Because I want to use Sick and Steel to like kill a bunch of people, but he can't move. And he can't use his traits. Even if I got rid of one of those, I still like can't move and attack. So he'll just use Sick and Steel on the guy in front of him, which is 2 dice. That was stupidly lucky. Thank you. So that cost him 1 of his 2 magic points, but he doesn't get any threat. Now he gets to remove 1 of these. So recover action can only remove possessed, which takes away his moving and attacking ability. I mean, either way, he's not going to get another attack. So yeah, let's get rid of possessed since it's harder to get rid of. Okay, and then for his second action, he'll recover, not a crit, and he'll get rid of not being able to move. And then he does take another damage from paralysis, so he might die, or not die, but get a chance to switch. And now the monk has 2 people in front of him. I guess we'll try to punch him, or should we? Well, if we get a 7, we can get rid of all of our threat. Or no, that's right. The guy's thing was still, yeah. So first, let's try to lower threat. That was a 2. And then the monk will punch both of these. Wow. That's a miss, too. What am I rolling? Okay. All right, so Shattered Lantern. The Lancer gains threat until it's 11 or reduces their hit points until their hit point is 1. I'm going to do the hit point one because really that's not that bad when you're already at 3. They'll probably be shattering soon. Anyway, the monk takes a damage and a corruption. That's fine. So they got 2 life left. And the only bad thing about the 1 corruption is now if they use Umbral Inferno, they will die. But, I mean, it could put a bunch of people into wounds. So that's still pretty cool. And the Arrowmancer... a threat and an affliction. Okay. Ooh, the threat gets them to 7 again. Ready to give the monk auto crits. And the affliction is confused, or they might hit somebody else. That's not the end of the world. Okay, and then we're just putting these out, so no need to roll anything. Those are all the cards that remain. All right, monk's going to go first while the Arrowmancer has got the ability to give them an auto crit. So they'll move, I guess, like up here. That's kind of the worst. Well, let's move down here. And then they'll attack. Oh. They got a crit anyway, which means that the Arrowmancer doesn't need to spend a corruption. That's cool. So those both go to wounds. And because of their ability, they can lower their threat back down to 0. That was great. All right, I think we'll have the Lancer go next. He's going to attack the guy right in front of him. He's got 2 threat. Nice. Gets a hit, but not a crit, so that's 2. And he is bleeding, so he'll die, but I'm going to use Sick and Steel. Oh, wait, no, I can't. I was going to, like, move into a basic attack. Ooh, so he would be dead. Okay, I guess he's recovering. Or I could have said that was Sick and Steel, but it's a little bit late for that. Okay, so yes, get rid of the bleeding. And I won't die automatically, although, of course, whatever the Eater of Children throws at him might kill him. Oh my gosh! When a character rolls dice on an attack, which could be me, and I'm at crit level. So, yeah, Arrowmancer, first action is going to attack. Get a 7, magically. And they are very close to dead now, but go ahead and take that one and say it's dead. And then they'll do it. Oh, wait, I don't want to. Hold on. Now, I'll take this one and say it's dead. I'd rather get hit by that than by the boss's stuff. And then they'll do it again. Okay, now they're really corrupt. And they're going to take that one and say it's dead. All right. 2 cards left, people. And the Lancer hasn't shattered yet, so we got a good chance. But let's see what happens with the Rage. 3 more afflictions for the Lancer. That's the perfect person to get it, because he's still not dead, and he can just shatter them away. Days. Oh, he can't use abilities. No crit. And only gets 1 action from freeze. Okay, and then what's this one doing? We have 4 life left. 1 damage. Oh, gosh. So 1 more corruption and there we go. No, that's healing, Mike. There you go. And then is the spider one back? It is. Okay, so the monk is gone. Or no, that's right. It's not until the end of their activation. So she'll get 1 final hurrah, which should be all we need. Yeah, I mean, we got this. So yeah, we'll have Lancer go first just to see what it looks like. Rah. So he's also going crazy. So what's he got? Shattered Maelstrom. When you perform a basic attack, if your roll equals your current corruption, the attack is a crit. So it just gives you more crit chances. And here he is, by the way. So that was his first action and second action. He's rolling 2 dice, critting on 7s, and he's got 2 attack value now. Dead. And then who should get the final wound? Oh, the arrow guy was confused. Did I attack last turn? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I attacked twice. Oh, man. Who was it? It was like that guy and that guy. Let's just roll those attacks back. What do I not want? I don't want odd rolls. I don't remember what they were. So first one, that's odd. So he takes the damage himself. Okay. Now this is changing things up. And then second one, probably would have. There we go. Okay, so we did kill one of them. But there we go. Now we got it. Okay, so the Aromancer is going to get rid of the confusion first. Yes. And then he's going to attack. He'll give himself his last corruption to do a new teaching. Well, I guess he can roll first. So you're not going to crit normally. So yeah, he'll give new teachings to make it an automatic crit. Well, I guess he didn't need to, did he? Well, whatever. The guy's dead, and he's corrupted away. Then the monk will run over with her final turn when she has 0 at life. And she's got no threat. Oh, she critted anyway. And then she's dead. So, yeah, the Lancer probably didn't need to corrupt, but we literally got down to only one character left on the last turn. So there you go. That was Encounters Shattered Wastes. And let's get into my thoughts on this one. So, yeah, just to kind of TLDR it, I think this game is awesome. It is just tons of fun and tons of variety. And I don't know what the price point is yet, but I'm assuming from like what's in the prototype that it's not going to be like a $100 game. So I think it's going to be a great value for its price, hopefully. But yeah, so first, I love the variety in heroes. You've got 8 of them. But the cool thing is, and this is so cool, that you've got like very unique things. Like the way that like the Slayer plays compared to the Ronin, compares to the Seer, compared to the Monk is already very different. But then like drawing these 8 cards at the start, once you know the game, because they do have like pre-cons for when you're learning it, and like picking which ones you want to use, and they're all so powerful. Like I mean, there's maybe like, I don't know, out of like 100 cards I think I've seen, or over 100, I think I've seen a couple that looked a little bit weaker, but really like almost all of them look like they could be great in some build. So you're going to be doing different abilities and different combos every game, and already the characters are super different on their own from their powers, including their shattered side. So like the combo of that just means, I don't want to say infinite, but tons of replayability for the characters. And the bosses are great too. This is my first play against that guy, but I played these other 3. So I haven't played the hardest ones, and they do look like super tough. But the tutorial boss is still a decent challenge. All the rest of these are really a good challenge. So it's not like you aren't going to play some of them afterwards, except maybe the tutorial one. That is one thing that would be kind of cool, though, if they had a way to like make the basic bosses a little bit harder once you know the game better. But pretty much all of these are playable. They're super different, like the way they attack, the number of things they spawn, the ongoing abilities they have, these rage cards they attack with. Like, you really do get a great feel. Like, some of them even like switch back and forth. Like this winged terror guy, he goes back and forth from like a winged and a landed version of himself, but he doesn't have like that whole like break and heal thing the other people do. So lots of variety in the bosses, lots of variety in the heroes, lots of variety in the builds. I'll compare this to something like Sentinels of the Multiverse, where you can just kind of like smash things together, have different teams, and have a ton of fun with it. And speaking of fun, I love the kind of build up of the game. And I'll compare this a bit to like Aeon Trespass Odyssey that I loved really recently, because you get stronger and the bosses get stronger. And that's just really cool. Like they level up in the middle of the fight. But then you, when you shatter, get like access to all new abilities, can do more damage, have like even crazier combos. And I really like that. Like a lot of boss battlers and like dungeon crawlers and stuff will sometimes have you like getting weaker and getting like your kind of resources beaten down over the course of the game, which is fine. That can be fun. But this one definitely like makes you go even harder and like get even cooler as the game goes on. And I just find that like very exciting and thrilling. Now, the thing that I imagine is going to bother people potentially the most is the dice. And there are a lot of dice. Now, the game is fast enough. Like, this was a bit of a longer game, but generally when I've been playing without having to, like, narrate and stuff, the game is taking about 30 or 30 minutes to an hour based on the boss, because some are longer. Now, with 4 players, it would be longer than that, so, it's going to be sometimes a longer game. But long story short, the game is fast enough that, like, some dice luck doesn't bother me too much. And here's the thing, for better or worse. Like, yes, the dice are sometimes going to, well, okay, there you go. But the dice are sometimes not going to go your way. But you need to have those ebbs and flows to make the game exciting. And in this one, like when you get the crit and when like awesome stuff happens, it is so dang amazing and like fun. And if this was just like a very staid, like don't roll any dice, control your abilities, you wouldn't have those like highs and those like kind of wooting like, pump your fist kind of moments that this game creates. So I love the crit system. I think it adds like tons of fun to the dice rolling. Yes, sometimes you go to recover and you only roll a 2 instead of what you needed, but there are lots of ways to mitigate that. Like you can pick characters like the Arrowmancer that have a crit value of 1, so that suddenly the worst value you could usually roll for things becomes the best value, and like it's not that bad. There are tons of abilities that give you control over things, let you change dice values, let you, regain more things when you recover. So if like you're really bothered by the dice, there are lots of ways to mitigate that, and you can pick like specific people to kind of go along with that. But I just really find that they add to the fun of the game. So your results may vary. If you just like totally hate dice, probably this is not the game for you. But yes, I'm not calling the dice a complaint. I still think it's a part of the fun experience, but it's something to be aware of. But yeah, Encounter Shattered Waste, I think this one is awesome. I'm definitely going to jump in on it once it launches. Might be launching it today, depending on when I publish the video. So go check out the campaign, see what you think. Good gaming, and I'll see you at the next stop.